The Suzuki Motor Corporation is a great example of a successful Japanese business. But what do we know about this enterprise? Well, let's dig a little deeper and see what we can find. Mikio Suzuki founded the Suzuki Corporation in 1909 and started weaving looms for Japan's giant silk industry. Despite the success of his looms, Suzuki believed that his company would benefit from diversifying, and he began to look at other products. In 1937, he decided that building a small car would be a great direction, and he built several examples of basic, low-cost motor cars. Sadly, however, World War II arrived, and all vehicle production was forbidden by the government. After the war, Suzuki went right back to producing looms, and the future looked promising for a short while. And then the textiles market collapsed in 1951. So Suzuki returned to the production of motor vehicles yet again, and this time the industry was welcomed by the government and citizens alike. Suzuki was soon building low-cost motorbikes and cars with great success. In recent times, Suzuki is among the world's largest automakers and a major brand name in important markets including Japan and India. But interestingly, the thing that surprised me is Suzuki, despite their success, no longer sells cars in Canada, the United States or China. Today, Stoo's Secret Stash is going to test drive an example of a wonderful survivor of a Suzuki. Yes, a 1979 Suzuki LJ81 four-wheel drive utility that has actually been in the same family since new. So, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Stoo's Secret Stash, driving a Suzuki LJ81. So how you going, Trev?
Yeah, good, mate. And yourself?
Yeah, all right, mate.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day. You wouldn't want to be dead for quids, would you?
No, would you not?
Yeah, mate. So you've got a bit of a special girl in your life.
I have.
And apart from your wife, there's another one.
There is.
And
Just
how does your wife?
Which one's the most special? But we won't say anything about that.
So
I've known one longer than the other. I'll just say that.
So does your wife know about the affair that you're having?
She does now.
Oh, and how does she react to that?
Nah, not for television.
So this is the beast.
This is her.
So tell me about the beast.
This is a all original 1979 LJ81 Suzuki 4-wheel drive.
LJ81, which in simple man's terms, tell me a little bit about the specs, or what's good about this vehicle.
Very light, very nimble. Not the fastest machine on 4 wheels.
So it sounds a bit like you, mate.
Television, remember? 800cc. Sorry, Dad. 797 cc's.
So it's the big block, because I believe they made smaller motors than that.
Yes, and they were actually smaller than a shoebox.
Oh wow!
Which we can have a look in a minute if you like. But,
yeah.
But yeah, no, my father bought this ute new in 1979, February the 28th. I can remember I was 6 years old.
Wow!
He rolled in the front gate of the farm down near West Wyalong in its current state. I got in the passenger seat as a little kid, and I remember looking straight at the glove box knob. I couldn't even see over the dashboard.
So that's really interesting. So it's been in the family since new.
Yes, Dad. My father actually calls it now, because Dad's 91 years of age.
Right.
He actually calls it a family heirloom.
So Trevor, if this is the family heirloom, how in the world did you end up with it?
Well, Dad taught me to drive on the farm in it when I was 8 years old. I had an actual cushion pillow behind me back because I couldn't push the clutch pedal all the way to the floor.
Right.
When I was first learning to drive it, I remember looking between the steering wheel and the bottom of the windscreen.
Oh wow.
I got my license in it, driver's license in it in 1989. And Dad said that I was to have it because it obviously holds a lot of sentimental value to me. And
That's awesome.
I'll never sell it. It's not for sale.
So you remember the day that your dad brought it home?
Clear as yesterday.
That's incredible. Now, looking at this vehicle, it's in beautiful condition, and it really is a testament to you and your father have been looking after it.
Yeah.
But surely in this condition, because these vehicles haven't lasted well over the period of time, they've rusted out prolifically. So this must be a pampered pooch that never leaves the garage. It hasn't done any work in its life, I would say. What would you say to that?
No, my father can be a testament to that. He's had it on the farm. It was on the farm for 20 years before he retired.
Yes.
He has actually had it bogged to the point that the left-hand wheels were off the ground. He's had it buried to the point also that he, flat out getting any sort of tractor anywhere near it. So I've got photos at home of I think it's red. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Dirt and mud, and it was used for what it was meant to be used for.
So it has actually been a work hard vehicle, but he's maintained it.
Looked after it. It always got, when the farm dried up, it always got a proper wash.
Right.
Under everything. It was polished once a year before Rego, every year. So to look the part. And it's still, this is all original, and this is what you get for looking after something.
Yeah. So this is amazing testament of early Japanese motoring that we see here, and I guess, like you said, it's been passed down from your father to you, so it's a family heirloom in that sense. But the thing that amazes me is that you got it off your dad, and I suspect that in all probability he's still alive, so in his mind it's still his ute.
Oh, for sure. I was, good point. I was always told that till the day that he's not here, it's his.
Right.
So what I want to know is, if he goes first, I don't know how he's going to sign it to me, but now I suppose that's up there, isn't it?
What do you most like about owning and driving this vehicle? What's the most precious thing for you?
Memories.
Wow, yeah.
Memories.
It's all about nostalgia, isn't it, when you're talking about classic cars?
Even my wife Kelly says to me, I'll be out somewhere in it and she'll be in the garden or doing whatever when I drive in the driveway. She said, you always just got this stupid looking grin on your face. I said, because I can't help it.
Yeah.
I just, it probably means nothing to anyone else, but it's mine.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Stoo's Secret Stash back again, and we're talking with Trevor about his amazing Suzuki LJ81. Trevor, looking at this vehicle, it doesn't look like it's been modified much at all. Now, I'm a little surprised, mate, because I think if you added, you know, right where your hand is there, a couple of big mean mother spotlights to keep in period, and a couple of wide sunraiser wheels, and a sunroof, mate, the world's endless. When are you going to start that, buddy?
That's not what it's about. That's not what it's about at all. It's this is how Dad bought it.
Yeah.
This is how I remember it. This is how it stays.
So you want this to be as close to showroom as possible.
Yeah. All
Right.
original.
Yep.
And that's, I've got a blurb there that I hang in the window.
Yep.
And it's as close to original as possible.
So, all right. So your dad is quite elderly at the moment.
91.
91. He's doing very, very well. But let's just say that one day you turned up with the ute and you had wide sunraiser wheels and spotlights on the bull bar. What would your dad say? And keep it clean.
Let's say at the minute I'm a male, and after that I wouldn't be.
So you wouldn't be in his best books.
Far from it.
So, from Stoo's Secret Stash here with Trevor and his wonderful Suzuki LJ81, mate. 790 cc's, 797 I should say, of pure power.
Oh, mate, back braking, just, yeah.
So, tell me about when you're driving on the open road. What does it go like?
You get to see a lot. Let's see. Well, it'll sit on sort of 80k an hour is about it's comfortable.
Yes.
Any harder than that and it's just revving and chewing fuel. It will go harder than that, but it's a waste of, that's just killing it.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, I did read somewhere, I think it's rated at 43 whole horsepower.
Wow.
Look out. But
They were ponies, probably.
Yeah, Shetlands. But in saying that, it's not the purpose of the ute. It's not a highway vehicle.
Yes.
It's a farm truck, and that's what it did and did well.
Yep.
As for mud and hills, it'll climb a tree, in Dad's words.
Fantastic. And of course, if it got bogged, you could probably almost lift it up yourself or with a couple of blokes.
If you could get to it.
Yes.
Because I do remember one time my father walking up from down the paddock. He always used to wear those coverall overalls.
Yes.
And he had mud right up over his knees. And I was only,
Wow.
would have been 10, 12. And I said, "Where's the ute?" And he said, "Look at my pants and figure it out." And I've gone, and that's one of the times that he actually buried the poor little bugger.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, great.
Yep. Can we go around the front of it for that? Because remember that.
So, Trevor, just one other question I've got for you, mate.
Yeah.
And that is, you dragged me all the way out here. When am I going to get to drive your baby?
Oh, you can't really ask me because, as Dad said, it's not mine.
Well, you know, what do I have to do? Do I have to pin you down and grab the keys, or what?
All right.
Yes, folks. Yes, folks. Game on. 790cc, 797 cc.
Yes, don't forget the 7. Don't forget the extra 7.
It might be an extra tenth of a horsepower or something.
Yeah, let's call it the horse's hoof. No, we won't call it that. Anyway,
no, we won't go there.
No.
So, Trevor, this vehicle is a 4-speed.
It is 4-speed. Yep. The Sierras, which was the next model, come out with a 5-speed. You can buy an adapter kit and put a 5-speed gearbox in this, but I don't want to because my whole point is keeping it original.
Right. They never came out optioned or anything like that?
Not from factory, no, not from factory, no. As we've said before, it is what it is. Original paint and all, as you can see by the bonnet there, it gleams. It's just the way I like the old ear, and that's how it's going to stay.
So you can't see you don't want to see any bonnet air scoops through, air scoops through the bonnet or anything like that?
No, definitely not. No. Dad's left it to me, and I mean this in a nice way. Dad's left it to me because he knows full well that I'm very proud of the little thing.
Yes.
And for obvious reasons, I've got my license in it, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it'll be with me till I'm no longer here.
right. And so your dad is like you said before, 91 or something now, and doing very well. Oh, mate, we're going to. Oh,
all good, don't
so right now, Trev, we're testing out the four-wheel drive.
Stuart's going to take this and wash it too, I can tell you.
Testing out the four-wheel drive capabilities on the dirt, and it's got the ground clearance.
It has.
And I will turn around in a moment, but I just wanted to take her for a little run to see how she goes over the dirt. And luckily, it's had time to dry out a bit.
It has, yes.
Lots of corrugations. But what I was going to say is, this is a memory of your dad, who, whilst he's still with us, he's very elderly, but also I imagine your mother had a part in this as well.
She did. Mum, I've got actually a photo at home. She's written on the back of it, because Dad said, when I used it to do my driving test, Dad said to me, you've got to wash it and clean it.
Yes.
So I washed it and polished it and made it look $1 million, much like it still does today. And I remember Mum wrote on the back of the photo, our Suzuki, 10 years old and still looks like new.
Oh, that's awesome.
And here it is now, 46-year-old, and still looks exactly the same. So
46 years old. Gee, I wish I looked like this when I was 46 years old, mate.
This has got less wrinkles. Anyway, it's mine. And I remember the day that I picked it up from Dad's place, I think that's when it hit. We drove down to the RTA and transferred the registration, and I drove it out of the RTA, and I'm like, that's when it really hit. Yeah. And I actually got a lump in my throat because it was like, it's now mine.
Yeah, yeah.
And will be, like I said, till the day I'm taken, let's say.
Yes.
But no, it is what it is, and I get a lot of, you should do this, you should do that. I can't see the point in all that. It just doesn't interest me at all.
Okay, Stoo's Secret Stash here, driving this beautiful 1979 Suzuki LJ81 and almost 800 cc's of pure power.
797.
And I noticed, Trev, when we were driving before, I was sitting on, we're on a dirt road at the moment. It's rather rough, so I'm really not going to put my foot down much at all. But even on the open road, I was sitting on 60, 70 kilometres an hour, and that was probably where it was very, very comfortable.
Yeah, that seems to be its optimum cruising speed, I suppose is the best way to put it.
Yeah, right.
It'll do 80 comfortably, but any harder than that, it'll do it. But it's just sort of revving for no reason, just chewing fuel. Because actually, Dad did find out, because as we well know here, it hasn't got a factory tachometer in it, but so 60 kilometres an hour is 3,000 revs.
Right.
80 kilometres an hour is 4,000 revs.
Wow.
It will do, and I know for a fact, it will do 100 kilometres an hour, but that's flat, and that's 5,000 revs. And
oh, wow.
But the Japanese engines are built for revs, but on the same token, it's a 46-year-old block.
Yes.
It was rebuilt. Dad and myself and Dad rebuilt it back in the mid-80s. When I say rebuilt it was rings and bearings, etc. But it's only done about 70,000 Ks since then.
Yeah, right.
So when Dad retired, he used it. He only ever used it for his model. He got into model airplanes.
Yes.
So that's all he ever used it for. So I think I figured out in the 26 years that Dad had it after he retired, it did 3,200 Ks.
Oh gosh.
So it spent a lot of time in a closed shed, and the shed that he had it in, if you walked into that shed and shut the door behind you, you couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
Yep.
So that proves that if you keep sunlight off things, it preserves it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Right. But, and you were telling me just before when we were chatting that this little machine has actually pulled out some serious heavy-duty four-wheel drives before.
It has, pulled out Land Cruisers, stuff like that.
It's quite an amazing thought to think that this would actually pull something out.
Well, in that's true, but in low range, as Dad's words, it'd climb a tree.
Yeah.
No, that's obviously
these really came into their own element when they were on the sand. Is that right?
Correct, because it's so light.
Yeah. Yeah.
The vehicle itself weighs 820 kilos.
Right. Wow.
So so it sort of doesn't need the terrific horsepower to do what it does.
Yeah, yeah.
It's slow. I know it's slow, but it's not designed for speed.
Now, Trevor, I have to ask. It's a delightful little vehicle.
Yep.
As long as I don't want the thing to perform.
Yep.
You know, if 0 to 100 kilometres an hour is important to me, I'll keep walking.
Yeah.
But if I rolled up to you and said, Trevor, this is a checkbook purchase. Name your price. What would you say?
You can't put a figure on it.
Right.
Or as my father would say, and this is from him, your pockets aren't deep enough.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, it's not for sale. It's that simple.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Very good, mate.